Hello guys, you're welcome back to the channel. So today we'll be learning how to draft a skirt band. This is actually an extraction from one of my online courses, okay, but I just feel I should quickly show us. The way we'll be doing it, we'll be starting with the waist measurement. So the waist measurement I'll be using is 26, okay. 26 divided by 2, that is 13. So 13 for the front and 13 for the back. Okay, but this we are still going to be divided into 4. So the method we are using here is going to be the kind of method that we are going to divide it into 2. Do you understand? So the first thing you want to do is to draft a straight line. Okay, you draw a straight line like so. So after this straight line now, you make sure that this straight line is long up to the amount of inches you'll be needing. Okay, so just cross check the measurement you have on the straight line and make sure it's up to half of or more than what you needed, okay, because you'll be adding a seam allowance. So I'm just drawing a straight line all through. Okay, this line that I drew is kind of short, so I'll be drawing a straight line all through. Okay, so on this straight line now, that is where we will start our measurement from. Okay, so from here we will determine the length of our band, but before that I would like to divide this line into 2. Okay, we divide it into 2 equal. I have 16.5, that is definitely 8.25. okay, we divide the line into 2. Okay, so now just like I've said, this is 13. We will now divide 13 into 2 again, then we have 6.05. okay, so 6.05 is going to be here. That is the quarter of our back and the quarter of our front. Do you understand? So here will be the back, okay, and here will be the front. Do you understand? So this will be the front and this will be the back. So this is the part to draft our back pattern. I'll draft our front here. So the way we are going to start now is, firstly you determine the height of your band. So I want to make it 1 inch. Okay, I'm using 1 inch for the height of the band. So we'll start by drafting the back. Remember I said we are drafting the quarter of the back here. That is, by the time we cut this and we have it on fold, okay, so this is definitely going to be on fold. You can either fold your paper into 2 or you do it separately this way. So from here now we determine the height of the band, and for this I'll be using 1 inch. So you just mark your 1 inch all through this way and connect with a straight ruler. Okay, this my ruler is actually 1 inch wide, so that is why I'm just using it like that. So this is the height. So now let me just use this marker to make it more visible for us to see. Okay, so that is where your skirt band, that is the length for the skirt band, the height rather. So, and I'm using 1 inch. So simply use an arrow to demarcate the top, then you write the amount of inch you are using. Now let's move to the front. You know that the front is kind of curvy. It is not as straight as the back. We have this kind of curved shape. The way we draft our basic skirts, you know that at the front we used to come down by 0.5 to create a curve. You know, I guess we still remember. So this is where to determine the curve as well. So when you are drafting your when you are drafting your band, you will need to create that curve. But the first thing I want to do now is to mark out the length of the front. Okay, remember I said we are going to be drafting the quarter of each side, that is the half of the front and the half of the back. So 6.5 here because it is 13 inches, remember. So to create the curve now, from this point you come up by 0.5 inch. Okay, this same way we come down by 0.5 is on our basic skirt. So from that 0.5 you mark your 1 inch, then you connect with a curve rule like this. Okay, so to create that curve, so by the time you cut this out and you join it to your skirt, it will surely be the same. So from that part now you will now measure the height of your band. Okay, remember we are using 1 inch, so you measure from this point. Okay, you measure your 1 inch all through to connect to the band. Okay, to connect to the back band. Okay, do you see? Then you connect again with your curve rule, just like the way you connected the one on the base. Okay, just watch closely what I'm doing, you will understand. So this is the height of our band. So I'll just use my marker now to write it, the center front, the center side front rather, the center back, and the side back. Okay, make sure you go ahead and label your own as well, because you might be needing this later. Okay, so and by the time you are cutting it out, so that you don't mix things up. So the next thing you want to do now is to determine the length for the back as well. But at the back there is going to be an overlap for the band. Okay, so what you will do is firstly determine the length of the back, then you add allowance of about 1.5 inch. Okay, 1.5 inch is okay, because 1 inch might be too small by the time you turn it around and you are trying to, just use 1.5 or 2 inch to be on the safe side. And this is the allowance here. Okay, it's going towards the center back because it's going to overlap the band. So the next thing we want to do now is to add our seam allowance all through this band. Okay, we're going to be adding 0.5 inches on the top and at the end of this, but we are not going to add to the center front and the center back because we are cutting this part on fold. Okay, the way I'm going to be cutting it, I'll cut just one of this, and by the time we are transferring to the fabric, we are just going to have just one single piece, both front and back together. So just go ahead and mark your 0.5 inch seam allowance on the top like this, just like the way I'm doing it. Then you do the same thing at the base as well. Okay, add your 0.5 inch on both sides, so that by the time you are transferring to the fabric, you know that you do not need to add any seam allowance again. It is very easier this way, and it helps save time. Okay, it helps you get an accurate measurement. Okay, so that is that for the back. It's going to be as straight as the initial line, but as for the front, we have a curve. So what you do is just follow the initial line that we have there, and while you are connecting it, connect with a curve rule as well, so that you have same shape, because you are going to be sewing in that 0.5 seam allowance. Then the way you are going to be marking it, make sure you mark it to connect to the back pattern. Okay, then just like the way I'm doing it, do it gently. You can start with your pencil first, like I always say, so that in case you need to clean up any mistake, okay, you can clean it up. Then after which you are sure of your lines, you are sure of what you are marking, then you can now use your marker or your pen to make it more visible. Okay, and do not forget, always label your pattern, it's important. So just like the way I'm connecting it, do it gently. Okay, so this is the seam allowance area. Kindly label your pattern, it's important. You might need to go back to it anytime. So this is the front. I'll just use this line to demarcate. That is not exactly where we are going to start from. So we are going to start our cutting from the center front and all through. Okay, remember this part is going towards the back and this part is going towards the front. Okay, so this part will be cut on fold. Okay, that is, you fold your fabric into two. So this symbol that I draw here that looks like a goalpost it means cut on fold. So anytime you see it, you know that you are going to cut that particular place on fold. It actually look like a goalpost now. Don't mind me. So guys, this is the center front. This second line that I mark, that is where our measurement will start from. Okay, so now let's just cut this part. So we are starting from the center front. Just watch what I'm doing. Okay, so but before you cut it out, make sure you write it on it again, the front and the back, because we are going to be cutting out that part that I wrote initially. Okay, so just watch the way I'm cutting it. So guys, thanks for watching up to this moment. I really appreciate you guys. So if you are yet to subscribe, do not forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it, turn on the notification bell, it's really important. So this is what we have. we are going to have a single piece, or if you like you can just slash it into two this way. That is the center that joins the front and the back together, remember. But if you are going to be cutting it into two to separate it, make sure that you add seam allowance to that middle point, okay, because at the end you are still going to be joining it together. Do you understand? So but this is how I want to cut it. So I'll be having just one piece at the end, and I'll be joining my band at once instead of joining it separately. Do you understand? So by the time you are joining it together, you see what I meant. Now to cut out your bag, you need to get your fabric, and you make sure that you fold your fabric into two like so, okay. Then you place your pattern on it, okay. So this part that is having a folded edge, that is where you place your pattern closely to it, because you are not adding seam allowance, remember, okay. So after placing it on it like so, then you can now cut it out. You can simply hold it down with something, or just secure it with your pin, okay. That is why I said you should label it immediately. It makes things easier, okay. So I already cut it out here, and after cutting I have this single piece, okay. This is what I'm trying to say the other time. So I'll start from the back and I will hand it to the back, okay. This is what it looks like. So after cutting it now, guys, I added an interface to it. It's called stay, some call it close stay, yes, or even if it is paper stay, as long as it is soft and is not thick, you add it to it with your steam iron to give it more structure, okay. This helps a lot, especially when your fabric is lighter, okay. So guys, this will be all for the skirt band. Thanks for watching this video. See you later. Bye.